Yo, what up, what up, y'all? This your boy Kareem Supreme. Back in effect. About to talk about New Jack City. 30 years of New Jack City, y'all. Can y'all believe it? It came out March 8th, 1991. And this is March 2021. Damn, 30 years just fly by, don't it? Man, we'll be talking about this 30 years from now. But this was a great movie. This is one of my first VHSs. You know, I had a bunch of them. I had Hollywood Shuffle, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Disorderlies, but this was the first black gangster VHS tape since the 70s. You know, since the black exploitation era. You know what I mean? I mean, this dealt with the crack epidemic. You know, this movie took place in 1986. And it led up to, you know, the current point in time, which was 89, 90, 91. And that's my boy Tariq Nasheed. Yeah, this was a good movie. You know, this movie had an all-star cast. Wesley Snipes was in it. Mario Van Peebles, Chris Rock was in it. Ice-T, Judd Nelson, Fab Five Freddy was in it. Flavor Flav had cameos in it, and a couple of other people too. Bill was in it. Bill Cobb was in it. Nick Ashford was in it. You know, it had an all-star cast and an all-star cameo cast. Keith Sweat had a cameo in it. Eka Mouse had a cameo. Eka Mouse that got shot. Rockabye Baby. Vanessa Williams was in it. The dark-skinned brown Vanessa Williams. That's what we used to call her. The dark Vanessa Williams. When this movie first came out, I'll be honest with you, the only two people I knew of was Ice-T and Bill Nunn, the Dutta Men. Them the only two that I knew of. I had and Mario Van Peebles. I had saw Mario years prior, 5-6 years prior to this, in a movie called Rappin'. You know, it was a low budget film about hip hop. Came out in '85. And Ice-T was also in it. But other than that, I didn't really see him in anything else up until New Jack City. And I have to be honest with you, I did not know who Wesley Snipes was. Never heard of him before. And I had saw Alan Payne in The Cosby Show, but didn't really pay him any attention. You know, Alan Payne played G Money. But I'd never heard of Wesley Snipes. And, you know, he nailed the Nino Brown character. He nailed that role. And this is what opened doors for Wesley Snipes. Because after this, he was in a bunch of movies, like all throughout the 90s, a bunch of classics. Right after this, he played in White Man Can't Jump. And he was still saying the same thing he said in New Jack City. See, you wouldn't want to be here and all that shit. But, yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it. I got to catch Tariq Nasheed in about a half an hour or so. So, I won't even be that long on here. But, yeah, this is a classic, VHS classic. Matter of fact, the soundtrack was a classic, too. It had Johnny Gill on there. It had FS Effect. It had Ice-T, of course, was on there. It had... who else did it have? It had Guy on there, Levert, Queen Latifah. But my favorite song on the album, on the soundtrack, was "Color Me Bad, So I Want to Sex You Up." That was the #1 song of 1991. On 104 WDKX, they used to do a top 30 or top 40 or whatever countdown at the end of every year. And the year 1991, I remember "Color Me Bad, I Want to Sex You Up" was #1. This was like New Year's Eve in 1991. I'll never forget that because I thought it was going to be Ghetto Boys. My mind's playing tricks on me, but no, it was Color Me Bad, I Want to Sex You Up, which was fair. You know, a lot of people don't know that those guys were white. And yeah, man, this movie is a straight up classic. Me and my little brother, we used to know this movie word for word. Oh, and as far as Chris Rock, I didn't really know too much about Chris Rock prior to this movie. He had a cameo in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and also Beverly Hills Cop 2. But other than that, I had never seen him act. I saw him in a comedy hip hop video called Pump Up the Turkey. But when I heard he was acting in this movie, I was like, damn, he was a comedian, you know. I didn't think he would be able to carry an action film like this, but did a good job. Oh. Yeah, like I said, I won't be on here too long. But yeah, if you still own this movie, I suggest you rewatch it. You know, I must have watched it about a million and a half times. But yeah, this movie made me never want to do any hardcore drugs. You know, it just woke me up. It made me, you know, I was about 11 years old. It just made me never ever want to do any cocaine or heroin or pop any pills or none of that. You know, matter of fact, it made me never want to do any drugs because I saw what it did to Pookie, and that was happening to people in my neighborhood, people in my family. I didn't want to be like that, you know. And I saw what it did to G Money. You know, he ended up smoking. But Chris Rock played a hell of a role. This launched his career, as well as Wesley Snipes, Ice-T. Ice-T felt like he couldn't act. He said he wasn't an actor. You know, he didn't know how good he was doing. At the end of this movie, I felt like it just felt like Ice-T had been acting all his life. You know, for him to say he couldn't act or he wasn't an actor, I was like, dude, man, this is more than just beginner's luck, man. This is a beginner's dream, you know, to be able to nail a role your first time acting. Shoot. Yeah, but as far as Pookie, Martin Lawrence was up for that role, but he declined. At the time, he was doing House Party 2 and some stand-up acts and all that, you know, so he was booked. And they wanted Flavor Flav to play Pookie, but Chuck D and the Bomb Squad said nah, because that'll just tarnish the image of Public Enemy, you know. And, you know, Flavor Flav was already doing crazy stuff. And, you know, Chuck D and Hank and all them just didn't want to be associated with somebody doing drugs, you know, because Public Enemy was supposedly an anti-drug group, but Flavor Flav was doing drugs, you know. He came out and said that later, but I'm glad he didn't accept this role. He still got to be in the movie. He still had a short cameo, but I'm glad he didn't accept this role because, you know, it just would have, like Chuck D said, it would have kind of ruined the image of Public Enemy. You know, that Night of the Living Bassheads was an anti-drug song, so I'm glad Flav didn't take that role. Chris Rock played a hell of a role. What was funny was when he said, yeah, you used to be the prom queen, now you ain't nothing but the prom fiend. Yeah. Like I said, Ice-T, he blew up after this. Judd Nelson didn't seem to really blow up after this. I don't know what went wrong, but, you know, I didn't really see him in too many blockbuster films after this. He probably was in a few. Maybe I just didn't recognize him, but I'm just going off the top of the dome. So, I don't know. If anybody that's listening knows, look up on IMDb and let me know in the comment section. But, New Jack City, I heard they was coming out with a part 2, but I don't know. We will see what we shall see. Anybody want to buy a turkey? Anybody want to buy a turkey? Yeah, this was an excellent movie. Excellent. I mean, I used to faithfully watch this every weekend. This and Do the Right Thing. This, Do the Right Thing, and I believe it was Mo Better Blues we had. You know? Yeah. New Jack City. Man, 30 years just fly by. And I was 11 years old at the time. Man, time just flies. Look at Chris Rock dancing, doing jumping jacks. He said it boosts worker morale. Please. All right, y'all. Y'all got any questions or comments? Just hit your boy Kareem Supreme up. You know, drop a comment, drop a like. Let me know what's good. Peace.